signed up for the right webinar. So let's just go one step back. And so I just want us to all be on the same page, because a lot of times the word program and program management means what's different things to different organizations. I'm talking about it in terms of the program management standard according to the PMI. It really is a program is larger than a project. It's to do with organization goals. It could be over a series of years. Some programs finish, some programs don't finish. Program management is taking all of the projects within the program and make sure that these projects are related. Make sure that no matter what we select in terms of the projects, they have the benefits, and we have improved control over the projects and the benefits through program management. And it is the coordinated management of said projects to drive organizational goals and objectives. So I'm quite sure everyone who's signed up is in alignment with my, what's the definition of what is program management. So let's have a look at, as I said, I actually, also wanted to use a tale of two cities. I wanted to use an example that we all know, again, just to drive home the fact that why program managers are in short supply, and why this program management is more than just someone who's a fantastic project manager. The habits that I speak about will resonate with you, and I'm hoping that at the end of this seminar you walk away feeling confident, just like the lion. So a quick recap, as I said, let's go to Paris or to Toulouse, France, and let's go to North America. On the other side, we're in Chicago, USA, and I think you know exactly where I'm going with the two programs in the past that have failed or haven't done that well. Airbus, obviously, in Europe, and Boeing, which is continuing to see issues with the Dreamliner, with the 787, Dreamliner, issues with airlines, including Air India, and other airlines around the world too, in Japan and in Korea. So let's focus in on Airbus. I think most of us are aware of what happened with Airbus. It was one of those silly things in this large program, and it's a large program because the parts were built in 5 or 6 separate countries and then assembled in France. But realistically, I think the failure element here had to do with bad communication. It wasn't technical expertise, it was just bad communication. One team was using CAD/CAM software version 3, and another team somewhere else in Spain was using CAD/CAM version number 4. The thing was, version 4 was not just a minor upgrade and a tweak from what's a version 3. It was a major rewrite from version 3. But no one spoke to each other to say, let's use the same instance or the same, what's a version of the software. And basically, this plane has something like 530 kilometers of wiring inside it. When they tested the software independently on 200-300 meters, it worked absolutely fine. But you amplify a little mistake over 500 kilometers, and they had huge issues. And obviously delays, which obviously was delayed the airline. It lost $6 billion because of late delivery and other issues that had to be rectified. $6 billion was lost, was because of a lack of communication and just simply understanding cultures and understanding the key stakeholders. On the other side of the planet, Boeing 787's Dreamliner had issues of its own. This was an organization that used to build most of the parts internally, but they decided this time to reduce risk or to spread risk and to reduce cash flow usage and to increase what is called a return on net assets, or RONA. They decided they would outsource a lot of the work, whereas previously they would do it all in-house. And they completely misunderstood the risk of outsourcing to second, third, and fourth level suppliers. Long story short, it's still having problems. What originally was a $5 billion project, sorry, a program, ended up costing about 18 billion US dollars. And as I said, as of last year, they're still experiencing issues. And I'm not saying that if they had attended this webinar and understood the 6 habits that these issues would go away, but some of the things that I'm going to speak about are the ones that are ignored, that are assumed that everyone has these skill sets. And because they are ignored, large programs go into all sorts of difficulties, and sometimes it shows up as a technical issue, but its underlying root causes are more interpersonal and non-technical. And I'll share these slides. Sorry, I'm just going to go through to the next slide, and some of the common elements or some of the things that we see consistently that are, what's going wrong. Obviously, is poor risk management, whether it's your own internal risk or risk of outsourcing to second, third, and fourth level suppliers. As I said, on the contractor management side, really not so good. Ineffective monitoring and control, again, nothing new, but what I'm showing you are the outcomes of some of the elements that if they were handled slightly better, we would not fall into major issues around failed programs. And so we have stakeholder engagement, etc., and the list can go on and on and on. And I'm not going to add on any more elements, obviously, on the list. I don't want to scare you guys. So what I'd like to do now is take this opportunity to actually turn things around and, have a conversation in a second about what really some of the things you can start thinking about almost immediately that I know will have a positive influence on the interactions, the conversations, the mood, the morale, and the execution of large complex programs. Now, this is one of those slides I threw in to show you, look, we know this stuff. We have project management, we have the business analysis, skill sets and competencies, we have formulas and processes and tools and techniques and all of these little boxes, whether at the enterprise analysis, the architecture that supports the analysis of the enterprise, whether it's project selection through a portfolio system, it could be under an umbrella called organizational change management. So we have all of these tools and techniques, and yet we seem to be it's going wrong because, like a lot of times, we are sort of operating sort of like a horse with the blinders on, and we forget that there is more to execution of programs and projects other than just tools and techniques. So, effective program managers. In the earlier slide, again, I showed you, look, if you can do all of those things, if you have the business analysis skills and you're competent, you have PMPs, you have the CBAPs in your teams, you have the certified Scrum managers, and that's fantastic. And you have the PGMPs, that's great. You have the standard, you have the knowledge, you have the ability, and you're competent. What I would like to share with you through these habits is that you can take this, you can ramp it up, you can improve your competence almost as though on steroids, and you can take it by increasing your performance, going from just competent to highly effective. And I think all of you will understand that there is a huge, what's the difference between good enough and great. And I'm talking about let's not be happy anymore with good enough. Let's aim for greatness. And here's a slide that some information that I found. Stanford research says, look, 75% of one's long-term job success depends on what people skills. So the higher up you climb that ladder, and let's say you're at the enterprise level, and you're running a strategic enterprise analysis activity over 6 months. knowing how to work with people is going to take you higher up the ladder and faster than